One day, the city's mayor gets a message from a whistleblower alerting him to a problem that needs to be dealt with. This whistleblower tells him that in the city's police department, a female officer has been hooking up with several other cops, sometimes. So this story starts with this woman, Maegan, who wants to be a police officer very badly. She goes through the academy and all the training, and then one day before she officially becomes a cop, she decides to start hooking up with one of her superiors, Sergeant Ty. Sergeant Ty and Maegan hit it off, and they hook up at least twice. Allegedly, Sergeant Ty ends up liking Maegan a lot, so he lets her know, like, hey, if you ever want to hook up again, I'm down. But Maegan has already moved on from Sergeant Ty because she officially graduates, becomes a police officer, and catches the eye of her supervisor, who we'll just call Supervisor. Now, Supervisor lets her know that if she hooks up with him, he can really help her career. So, of course, Maegan starts hooking up with him, and allegedly, Supervisor ends up liking Maegan a lot. Their situationship goes on for months, and eventually they start hooking up not just in their free time, but also while on duty. They trade dirty messages and spicy photos, and a couple of times when they hook up, he records her without telling her. When she catches him, she's all like, hey, delete that footage. Supervisor agrees but doesn't delete it. Instead, he passes those intimate photos and videos over to his other officer friends, including Sergeant Ty and even the police chief himself. Meanwhile, Sergeant Ty is still there like, yo, Maegan, if you ever want to hook up again, I'm down. But Maegan doesn't hook up with him again. Instead, she starts hooking up with several other officers in the department. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this timeline because as far as I know, it's never been publicly released. At some point, Maegan goes with her fellow officers to one of those putt-putt go-kart places. They all get wasted, and Maegan goes back to the hotel with an officer named Juan Lugo Perez, and they hook up. Then she hooks up with Sergeant Shields in the police gym, then starts sexting with another officer, Officer Sherrill. Then she hooks up with another officer, Officer Larry. Who knows? She probably hooked up with the dog too? I don't know. But the whole time, I'm sure Sergeant Ty is still probably like, yo, Maegan, if you ever want to hook up again, I'm still down. But she still doesn't go back to Sergeant Ty because clearly she's hooking up elsewhere. Then one night, some officers throw a hot tub party. Maegan goes, gets wasted, and dances around topless while other officers pour shots into her mouth. Afterwards, she hooks up with her coworker, Magaloo, in the bathroom. So, to sum it all up, she's basically been hooking up with a lot of different officers, and she's apparently also married. At this point, Maegan has now been romantically involved with 7 officers in her police station. Eventually, Sergeant Ty, who allegedly has been wanting to hook up with Maegan again but only got to twice, starts getting jealous. He's jealous that she's hooking up with everyone else in the police force but not him. So what does he do? He allegedly crowns himself as the whistleblower, goes to the mayor, and reports all of this. He tells the mayor that a female officer in the police department has been hooking up with several other cops, sometimes while on duty, but he doesn't mention that he was involved with her too. Immediately, the city starts an investigation. They interview everyone at the department, look into the matter, and find out it's all true. They fire Maegan, then suspend or fire most of the officers who were involved with her, and eventually also fire the police chief because he knew about the behavior and never reported it to HR. Furthermore, when they find out he had also hooked up with Maegan, they also fire Sergeant Ty. In total, 5 officers are fired and 3 are suspended without pay. But it's not over, because then this story hits the news, goes viral, and is all over the internet. People are talking about it everywhere, and the memes that come out of it are ridiculous, with people joking about taking F the police, literally. Overnight, the internet is clowning Maegan for being involved with so many officers. Maegan is very upset and doesn't know what to do, so she gets her act together, hires an attorney, and files a lawsuit against not only her 3 superior officers, but also the city. Now, it's easy for us to laugh and joke, but from a legal standpoint, her supervisor had told her that if she hooked up with him, he would help her career. He also allegedly recorded her intimate activities without her consent and passed the footage and photos to other officers, including the police chief, without her consent. Maegan has a strong case, and after about a year, the city board hears all the arguments, reviews all the evidence, and takes a vote. They vote almost unanimously to settle the lawsuit with Maegan, and they end up paying her $500,000 to drop the suit. So, while everyone laughed at her and made jokes, in the end, she won. She got the money she wanted and, apparently, all the D she wanted too. Last I read, Maegan and her husband are still married and still trying to work through everything. Good luck with all that.